Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at rates. So ratios compare two quantities of the same type, same units, whereas rates compare two quantities of a different type, so different units. So a rate with which you would be familiar is speed. Speed compares distance and time. So speed is actually just distance over time. So let's say I can run 100 meters in 12.5 seconds, and at this rate we're going to calculate how long it would take me to run 1200 kilometers and how many kilometers I could run in 1 hour. Okay, when you're doing a question like this, it's easiest to first write the rate. When you're writing rates, it's something per something. So speed's distance over time. So 100 divided by 12.5 is 8. So we divide a distance by time, meters by second. So we write it like this, meters divide second or meters per second. 100 meters in 12.5 seconds is 8 meters per second. What that means is on average, I'm going 8 meters every second. So we've written this as a rate. And that will make it so much easier to solve these questions in here. So how long will it take me to run 1200 kilometers to Brisbane? Well, how many lots of 8 meters are in 1200 kilometers? Well, of course, 1200 kilometers is 1200, and then we add 3 more zeros to make it into meters. So if you travel 1200 kilometers, you're actually traveling 1.2 million meters. So 1.2 million divided by 8 gives us 150,000 seconds, but that's not actually that helpful. So let's put it into days, hours, minutes, whatever. So 150,000 seconds. Let's divide by 60 to get this into minutes. So dividing that by 60, we get 2,500 minutes. So then we want to convert to hours. We divide by 60 again. So dividing by 60 actually gives us 41 2/3 of an hour. So what is that in terms of days in that? So we know that that's going to be 1 day. 1 day is 24 hours. There's going to be 17 hours left over. Now 2/3 of an hour, 2/3 times 60 is 40. So it'll take 1 day, 17 hours and 40 minutes. So of course, if I was running to Brisbane, I wouldn't be able to keep up this speed. But if I did theoretically keep up an average speed of 8 meters per second, it'd take 1 day, 17 hours and 40 minutes to run to Brisbane. All right, how many kilometers could I run in 1 hour at this rate? So if I run 8 meters every second, and there are 60 times 60, so 3,600 seconds in an hour, I can run this many meters per hour. So this is meters in an hour. And to convert that to kilometers, I just divide by 1,000. So what I've actually just found here is that 8 meters per second, 100 meters in 12.5 seconds, is the same as 28.8 kilometers per hour. This speed means on average I'm running 28.8 kilometers each hour. All right, let's now look at some worded problems. So for the past 6 days, I've averaged running 3.2 kilometers per day. How far must I run on the last day to improve my average for the week to 3.6 kilometers? So if you've been running 3.2 kilometers for 6 days on average, your total distance covered is 19.2 kilometers. Now, if you want to have an average of 3.6 kilometers over 7 days, again, you need to multiply them. You would do 25.2 kilometers. So we have run for 19.2 kilometers. We need to have run for 25.2 kilometers to get our desired average. So of course, that means on the last day, we need to run 6 kilometers. So if we run for 6 kilometers on the 7th day, the average for distance covered will improve to 3.6 kilometers per day. All right, let's now look at a harder worded question. So my AFL team has averaged 83 points per match. If we score 47 points in our next match, our mean will drop to 80 points per match. How many points have we scored? So you might be able to do this in your head, and I'll show you how to do that afterwards, but I want to show you using equations because it's a surefire method where it will always work. So my AFL team has scored 83 points per match. The problem is we don't know how many matches played. So we're going to let X equal the number of matches played. So if we have played X matches and averaged 83 points per match, we have total number of points is 83 times X. So if we score 47 points in our next match, then our total number of points scored over all matches will be 83X plus 47. That's the total number of points scored. Now, our mean, though, will be 80 points. So total number of points equals average points per match times the number of matches. Now, we'd played X matches. If we play another match and score 47 points, we have now played X plus 1 matches. So we've reduced this to an equation and we know how to solve these. We've done it a million times. So we have pronumeral on both sides of the equal sign, so we need to get rid of any fractions or brackets. So let's expand the brackets. Okay, now we're going to subtract the pronumeral with the lowest coefficient. And you know how to solve from here. Subtract 47 from both sides and then divide by 3, you get X equals 11. So we're not done. X is the number of matches we've currently played, but how many points have we scored? Well, we've scored 83 times 11, which is 913 points in total. If we score 47 in our next matches, we will have scored 960 points in 12 matches. Average is 80. So you could do it without the equations. You might have realized that if we decrease our points per match by 36, our average goes down by 3. The only way that can happen is if we end up playing 36 by 3 12 matches, i.e. the 47 point match is our 12th match. So you could have done it in your head using logic. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. I just did it this way to show you that using equations we can always get the right answer. We don't need to rely on something just clicking in our head. So either way you want to do it, 913 points scored in total. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.